Sadly, cinema with film as the primary source is disappearing. We need to remain open to change. That doesn't require one to divorce the past, but respect the process, both the present and the future, said Robert Richardson. And so, once upon a time. Reema did not think she was capable of hurting the one person she loved the most in the world. But Kartik had just crossed the limit of propriety over the weekend. He had no right to insult Sameer that way. Life had been harsh for her. What with her husband going off with another woman, the divorce battle, and the demon of loneliness that hounded a single mother. Sameer had been her friend long before she was married. Now it was turning out to be more than that. She needed a hand to hold, a shoulder to cry, and someone to love. Sameer was all of that and more, but Kartik did not want any man to take his father's place. It was an understandable emotion for a 10-year-old to feel, but that did not give him the right to say what he did at dinner to Sameer, when Sameer was only trying to help him with some problems at school. Just because you're fucking my mother does not give you the right to become my father, was what Kartik had said. Reema did not even remember when she had picked her hand up and slapped him across the face. She had never done that in her life. Kartik had burst into tears, flung his plate away, and walked off to his room. Reema had burst into sobs herself. The pain that she had kept back for so many years was just all coming out. Sameer just sat there holding her, and he fought his tears as well, not because he felt insulted, but because he felt the pain of the 10-year-old and his mother. It was just sad when happiness became like parachute between two people, and someone had to let it go. And now, this message from school. He had stopped doing his homework, grown his hair, stolen from the stationery supplies. The school was threatening to have him rusticated. Reema knew he was acting the rebel, but there was no way that she would get him admission in another school. What was she going to do? Let me handle this, please, Sameer asked her. Handle what? Kartik hates you. And even if we do get a reprieve from school, he's not going to change his ways. He's going to be the rebel till you walk away from us. Reema wiped her tears and sat down on the chair by the kitchen table. You speak to the school, and I speak to Kartik. He and I should both get a chance after all. Sameer smiled enigmatically. You're going to talk to Kartik. Good luck with that. Reema seemed resigned to her fate. Can you convince the school to give him one more chance? Sameer asked again. Reema nodded. She could perhaps. Good. Let me handle this then, Sameer said. Sameer was waiting for Kartik in the school parking lot. Kartik looked away when he saw Sameer. Sameer could see the resentment in his eyes. No little boy should have to go through what Kartik was going through. I have come here to help you in what you're trying to do. Sameer spoke in a gentle voice to Kartik. What do you mean? What am I trying to do? Kartik asked. His little eyes perplexed, his forehead creased. You hate the world and you want it burned down, don't you? Kartik did not respond. You and I can sit on the bench under the tree for 10 minutes. If you agree with me, you could take a ride with me in my car. And if you don't, I will leave you alone. What do you think about this deal? Samir moved a little closer to Kartik, his smile trying to engage Kartik. Kartik thought for a moment and then agreed. They walked to the bench and sat on it a little far from each other. Kartik looked at the ground, his feet playing with a stone. Everything is a club, Kartik. You understand clubs? Samir asked him. Kartik shook his head. When I mean club, I don't mean a resto bar or a gymkhana kind of place. I mean an association of people. When you're little, that club of people is handed to you. But when you grow older, you can decide on the club. You are put into a play school, which is a club, and then into a school, and later into a college. You may not like being a part of these clubs, but they have knowledge to impart, something that you will need to run the business of your life. Kartik was beginning to listen to Samir, though he did not understand fully. As you grow older, there will be other clubs. These are very dangerous and they will affect your mental health. Let me tell you how they work. They will start a club by inviting a few people into that club and then restrict the invitation so that you yearn to be a part of that club. Take, for instance, an award given every year to people for their excellent work in a field of art, for example. They will advertise the award. They will make you yearn for it. They will make the award a recognition that you need to have, or else life will be meaningless. Then you will strive to be a part of that club. You see, it's simple. Start a club and then restrict the entry. There will be a club of luxury car owners. There will be a club of designer wear owners. There will be a club of diamond jewelry owners. There will be a club of high society parties. There will be the club of big corporate guest lists. Everywhere you go, there will be a club. They will make you yearn for it. It's nonsense. You understand so far? Kartik nodded and moved closer to Samir. Samir smiled and continued. Don't get fooled by these clubs. And don't let them decide how successful or meaningful your life is. You decide how meaningful the club is for you. If a club like school is important to you, play the rules of that club. If not, let it go. Remember, Kartik, no one can insult you without your permission. Sometimes it's just smart to give a club that permission. Not because it's great, but because you need something from it. So I should play by the rules of the school because I need something from the school? Kartik suddenly looked like a lost innocent boy and Samir just wanted to hold him tight. Exactly. You could walk away, but you would be the loser. Kartik thought for a moment and then he smiled and he said, Would you drop me home? He asked Samir. It would be my pleasure, Samir said. It's smart to be part of a club that owns a car, Kartik said slyly. Samir laughed out loud. You get the drift, my friend, he said. From the school window, Reema saw Samir drive off with Kartik in the car. The principal had agreed to give Kartik one more chance, and life had agreed to give her one more chance.